A quiet temple courtyard at dusk. The philosopher and Arjun sit beneath an ancient banyan tree. Arjun looks at the philosopher expectantly and asked,
Master, why is it that the kindest hearts often suffer the most?
Philosopher smiles and replied,
Because, my child, the kindest hearts carry not just their own pain, but the pain of others too. Let me tell you about a man who gave away everything, even when he had nothing left.
In the lush valley of Benuvan, two boys were born in the same year, Raghu and Devon. They were inseparable friends. When one laughed, the other laughed louder. When one cried, the other cried harder. And they both shared a dream to one day open a bakery that would feed their whole village. Their mentor was an old baker named Kaka Ram, who always said,
A true baker doesn't feed the stomach, he feeds the soul.
When Kaka Ram passed, he left behind his tiny clay oven and his recipe book, handwritten, with smudges of flour and love. The two boys, now young men, parted ways to follow their dreams. Devon, ambitious and sharp, went to the city. He returned with machines, shiny packaging, and a hunger for business. Raghu, humble and grounded, stayed back. He used the same old clay oven and kneaded dough with his hands, just like Kaka Ram had taught him. Years passed. Devon's bakery towered over the village square. He sold cupcakes with gold foil, hired guards to keep the poor away, and measured success by coins, not smiles. On the other hand, Raghu's shop, meanwhile, looked like it hadn't changed in decades, but it smelled of home. People didn't just come for bread, they came for warmth, for advice, for comfort. Suddenly, famine struck the lush valley of Benuvan. The river dried. The crops failed. Even the air felt heavy with despair. One by one, bakeries shut. Grains became rarer than pearls. But Devon and Raghu had both stored flour, Devon in his warehouse, guarded day and night, Raghu in a small clay pot beneath the floor, just enough for a few loaves. One day, a woman arrived from a distant village. Muddy feet, sunburnt face, arms cradling a child who hadn't eaten in 2 days. She went to Devon first.
I don't want charity, I just want one loaf. I will wash your floors, clean your walls, anything for it.
Devon looked her over and said,
If you have no coin, you have no value.
He closed the iron doors. Tears in her eyes, she stumbled to Raghu's bakery, nearly collapsing at his doorstep. Inside, Raghu stood with a single loaf of bread on his table, his last. He hadn't eaten in a day himself. He looked at the child, then at the woman. And without a word, he sat them down, sliced the bread in half, gave them water, and watched them eat, smiling all the while. The woman wept, as if fed by more than food. Devon, watching from across the road, scoffed to Raghu.
Fool, that was your last loaf. What now?
Raghu smiles, and replied,
If this is how I die, let me die with a full heart.
That night, Raghu sat by the clay oven, humming an old tune Kaka Ram used to sing. And before the stars reached their peak, he passed away, peacefully, with nothing in his pocket, but everything in his soul. Years later, the famine ended. Rain returned. Crops danced in the fields again. Devon's bakery expanded into a chain across cities, but no one spoke his name with love. Then one day, a beautiful little shop opened, painted in warm yellows, and the smell of fresh loaves. Its sign read, Raghu's Bread, where no one leaves hungry. It was run by that same child, now grown into a kind, radiant woman. She told everyone, my first memory of kindness was half a loaf of bread, and a smile from a stranger. After finishes the story, Arjun deep in thought, and asked,
He gave away everything, even his life, and yet, He never asked for anything in return.
Philosopher replied to Arjun.
That is the truest form of giving. When you give not because someone deserves it, but because you can.
Then Arjun curiously asked.
What about Devon?
Philosopher gently replied.
Some people fill their vaults, but empty their legacy.